Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd, as well as my friends over at yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to do the Lily Sugar and Cream bag. This is a nautical striped bag. We're going to be using 3 colors. You're going to just use the regular size Lily Sugar and Cream balls, 3 balls of bright navy, and then we have 2 balls of white and 2 balls of red that you need. We're going to be using a 4mm size G crochet hook. Just for fun, I'm going to be using Bernat Handy Crafter Holidays. I like the sparkle, and I have red and white with this, and then I'm just going to be using the bright navy just to finish it off. So I'm just changing up the color order a little bit, but of course this is your creativity. You can decide what works for you. So as we get started, we're going to be doing the base of the bag, and we're just going to be turning it like this, and we're just going to be crocheting back and forth to create these stripes. So we're not going to cut our yarn each time. We're just going to carry it, and then we're going to bury it then when we do the borders for this. So we're just going to go back and forth just like you see. There's a total of 60 stripes maximum to do this. Now 60 times 2, because there's 2 rows for each one of the stripes, that gives you 120, and 120 is the magic number to be able to do the base of this bag. So we're going to start with 120 and get ourselves smaller. So unlike another bag that we would start in the middle and grow outward, we're going to start on the outside and go inward. Again, you can make your mind up on what you would like to do. The straps are really quite easy to do, and without further ado, let's get started on the body of the bag first. So let's get started on the body of the bag. Let's create a slip knot, and I am using my Bernat Handy Crafter Holidays in red color, 4mm size G crochet hook. So what we're going to do is that you're going to chain a total of 51. So just chain, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and go all the way to 51 for me, and meet me back here in just a moment. So now that I have my 51 on here, for the first row I'm going to improvise. I'm not going to follow the instructions, and the reason for it is that we have to do single crochet V-stitches, and I found with myself that I'm creating extra gaps by doing it in the chain. So what I want you to do, and if you would like to have this option, you can do it this way. Second chain from the hook, turn it over, and just single crochet all the way down. That's what I would do, and that's what I did do on my pattern. But if I'm gonna show you the way that it's done on the pattern just to prove it to you. So we're gonna go second chain from the hook, and we're gonna single crochet, and then the pattern says to skip the next chain, which we're going to, and then we're going to do the V-stitch in the next one, which is, so we're just going to just reach over, so skip the next one, single crochet over, chain 1, and single crochet again into the same one. Do you see that? It's creating this big gap. That's what I want you to avoid. So the next one then would be skip 2, and then go to the third one and do a V-stitch. So single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, and then skip 2, and then V-stitch again into the third one, and you do that all the way down. And then when you get to the very end, what's gonna happen is that you're only gonna skip 1, and then you're just gonna do 1 single crochet into the final. But if I were you and you were me, what I would do is just restart again if you don't like those gapping spaces. And again, it's nice to have choice, but sometimes it doesn't always work out. So second chain from the hook, I want you to single crochet, and I want you to continue to single crochet yourself all the way down. So this will create the chain to be nice and solid, so therefore when you're sewing it to the other side, when you finally get there, that you'll have a nice solid join to be able to do that. So do that all the way down, and meet me back here in just a moment. Okay, you're gonna get all the way down to the other side, and even if you were doing the other way, you'd still get there too. Obvious, right? So we're gonna get right to the end, and then we're gonna turn our work. So this is gonna count as one of the passes. For every stripe is made up of 2 passes. So this is one, even though we improvised. We're gonna turn our work. Now if you were following the pattern, what's gonna happen is that you're going to chain 1, and you were going to single crochet in the first one, and then you will have the V-stitches if you did it the way that the pattern is. And so what you would do is single crochet, chain 1, single crochet in the middle of the next V-stitch, and then jump to the next V-stitch and single crochet and chain 1, and then continue all the way down, and then you'll put 1 single crochet down on the very last one. But if you're doing it my way, what I would do is that we have to establish that, because we haven't done so, right? So we have to chain 1, which I just did, and I'm going to single crochet in the first one, and we are going to skip 2. So now we're gonna establish it. So skip 2 and single crochet into the next one, the third one, chain 1, and single crochet again into that same one, and you're creating the V-stitch just like you see. So skipping 2, single crochet in the next one, chain 1, single crochet in that one again. See, it creates a nice solid look just like you have. So skipping 2, single crochet in the next, chain one, and single crochet in that same one. And I want you to do that all the way down to the other side. When you get to the other side, what's gonna happen is that you'll have your last V-stitch and you are going to single crochet, so skipping only one and single crocheting into the final one. So I don't want to finish this stitch. I want to introduce my color white. Do not cut this yarn. So let me show you the sample, what we're going to do, and then I'll bring in the white and show you what we're gonna do from that point. So here's the sample. So this is where we have changed our yarns in order to have the striping. You notice that it's carrying over. When we go to do around the border, what's gonna happen is that we're gonna go right up over top of those and hide those. So the one side is a nice clean finish and the other side is the yarn carrying up. And so what we're about to do on this project is that we're not cutting our yarn at this point. We're going to then just bring on the white. We're gonna let this just hold off to the side and then we're just gonna go across and back with white, and then we're gonna switch back to red and then across and back with red. So let's do that. Let's grab our white now and let's finish this row. So create a slip knot and we're going to then start that white. And so we're just going to put the white on there and we're going to finish the last row using white. So whenever you're going to switch, the last pull through has to be the new color if you're switching over. So we're gonna just gonna put the red out of the way and we're just gonna go and turn our work and do one pass back or across and then back. So because it's the starting strand here, I want you to bury that as we go as well. So we're going to chain one and every row is now exactly identical to the finish point and you need a total of 60 stripes. So this is one stripe of red that you see. So we're going to single crochet in the first one, go right up over top of that straggler to bury into position. So these here are V-stitches in red that you see. So what you have to just do is sink your hook in between the two V-stitches, or in between the V-stitch. So right there and here all the way down. So you're just gonna go right in between and just put the straggler on top and single crochet, chain one, and single crochet into the same stitch. That's all this pattern is for the base. So now you're gonna go into the next V-stitch here. So you're just gonna single crochet in, chain one, and single crochet back in. And that's all it is to it. That's this whole body of the bag is made up of that. So just in between the next V-stitch, chain one and V. I have to say that once you get used to having to do this, it speeds up quite a bit. So there's the next V-stitch, just going right into the middle of them, single crochet, chain one, and single crochet. So please do that all the way across. So I'm getting close to the other side. I got my last V-stitch in, just reach over and just single crochet in the final stitch. So we have to go back across with white. You can tell that the red is much thicker, so the white's not done. So we just turn our project and begin again. So just single crochet or chain one, single crochet in the first one, and then we start in the V-stitches. So you'll notice that because there's a color difference of the way that these look, it's easier to see it when you're having color changes. So right in between into the V, single crochet, chain one, and single crochet. And you just keep doing that. So the next V, single crochet, chain one, single crochet. Do that all the way across. I'll see you at the end of this row. So I'm coming to the end of the row. The last V-stitch is going in and then I single crochet into the final. So remember, I got a single crochet, pull through, but because I'm about to switch to red, I'm gonna drop the white and pick up the red and just carry it up to the side and finish that stitch. So it'll look like it's just being carried up just like that. So we're gonna turn our work and begin red again. So red, just back and forth, just doing what you already know. So chain one, single crochet into the first one, and then you're going into the middle of the V-stitch to make a new V-stitch. So single crochet, chain one, single crochet. So I think I have enough here for you to be able to do as far as getting it all done. So you just need to go back and forth so that you have 60 of these stripes. So this is one stripe, two stripe, three, and this will be three, and etc. So what I want you to do is continue now until you get that done. So you'll have to stop this video at this point. It'll take you a bit to get there, and then I will see you at the end of that, and then we'll carry on in this tutorial. When you get to your 60 stripes, you're going to be left with the red one as being the last one, because the white will then connect to the red one that we started with. So what I want you to do is that, leaving an extra long tail, I want you to get rid of this red. So just cut it and put it into a darning needle, and put that darning needle so that it will just go in and out of the project. So just put it on like so, Now the secret is if you go in and out of a project 3 times it just hides it. So you're just gonna go in, just glide it in. So we got 1 and then just pull it so it doesn't warp anything, and then coming back in through a different, slightly different path for 2 and a slightly different path for 3. And you're gonna do that for any of the loose ends that you may have, and you will have them because you would have had to change over your balls because you would have run out of yarn on one ball at least. So go back and forth 3 times and then just simply trim. And I want you to keep the white on there because we're gonna use that white now. Just cut an extra long strand, and we're gonna be using that then to join it to the other side. So go back through and just make sure that you have all of your project done like that. So this here is still have a loop, so I want you to pull this through and lock it, and then just move through the project and get rid of any loose ends. So let's sew. This is where we finished. So let's sew this to the other side. So just fold it up the other way. I've gotten rid of all my loose ends. So we're gonna do what is called as a whip stitch. So what I want you to do is just simply go across into the next stitch on the other side. So just kind of match the stitches. So we're just gonna go into the red on this side and pull through, and that will pull that up into the project. Now circle back, meaning coming up over top, and go into the next stitch, and then the next stitch on the other side. This is called a whip stitch, and you're gonna do that all the way across. Now if it's not lining up for you, just kind of fake it, make it work for you, and just simply just continue all the way down. So because I had you start with a nice solid row, it'll look really quite finished once it's done. And you will have a little bit of a line here, but you know what, that's just the nature of the beast, right? So let's just continue and whip stitch all the way across, and I'll see you at the end of this row. Okay, once you get to the other side, you're just gonna go all the way to the edge, and I'm continuing to whip stitch. Now the secret to hiding anything with crochet, if you're new to crochet, is to go back and forth. So just tie it, just get it stuck so that's kind of like a knot, but it's really kind of not, if that's confusing for you. So now that that's in, I want to just go back and forth on this side of the project. So we're looking at the inside of the project now. Now that I've just whip stitched across, I've now kind of determined that on my own. So both sides, because you went back and forth, kind of look the same. So it kind of really doesn't matter which side that you're looking at this moment, but we are gonna flip it over once we're ready. So back and forth 3 times, gets it nice and stuck. If you're using it as a bag, you're gonna want that. So that's out. So what I want you to do is flip it now the other way. See, what a great join, right? So we're just gonna flip it the other way, and this is now the outside of the bag. So let's just do the top edge. We might as well do something fun and give ourselves a little bit of a break, and then we'll just do the bottom after that. So there's gonna be 2 rounds of doing the top. So let's just get ourselves back to where the join is. You can feel it just slightly inside, and we're going to start at that point and get our bright navy, and let's go. So in the pattern it says that it's bright navy, and I said that, but I'm actually gonna use red because that is kind of the main color that I'm coming down, and it's not white. So I'm going to use red. So you just simply want to join it so I can feel where that whip stitch is. I'm just going to join it to any one. Now each one of these stripes is made up of 2 single crochets, and when you single crochet, basically the side of each single crochet is 1 stitch on its own. So just join, chain 1, and single crochet. So each one of these stripes should have 2 single crochets. So just advance to the next section here. See there's 2 into that white, and now we're gonna go into the red, and there'll be 2 single crochets in that red. So first one, and then the second, and then the white again. So the first one and the second. Now you're going to notice that you're going up over top of these stragglers that you see. So make sure you capture those as you go. So just, if you have to turn it, it's naturally happening for me, but if you have to turn it just to look at it, then do so. So essentially every stripe gets 2 single crochets in it. So the one on the beginning of that stripe, and then the second on the other side of that stripe, and then moving on to the next stripe. So please do that all the way around. So I'm coming up all the way back around, and I'm just doing my single crochets. There's 2 in each stripe, as I mentioned. And so you're eventually gonna come to the first stripe that you ran into that you started. You're just gonna join with the slip stitch, and now we're gonna do a reverse single crochet back around in the direction we just came from. So this is also called as a crab stitch. So you're just gonna chain one and single crochet into the same one that you just did the join. Okay, so that's normal, so you know how to do that. Single crochet, sorry it's a little tight. Now usually we advance forward when we go to do the single crochet, but we're gonna do the reverse. So we're gonna go to the stitch behind it and just insert in, and then just yarn over, pull through, and then pull through two. Okay, so we go to the one before it, pull through, and pull through two. And this is a reverse single crochet, and you're gonna do this all the way around. This will give it a nice trim at the top of the bag. So please do your reverse single crochets or your crab stitch all the way back around. So I'm coming all the way back around to where I started, and I want a reverse single crochet in the finals that I have, and I have one more left, and then that's it. Now if you use your darning needle properly, you can actually hide this in so it looks like it belongs. So I just did the reverse single crochet, and all I'm just gonna do is just trim this yarn a little bit extra long so that I can throw it into a darning needle and just pull up the loop. Now what you need to do, grab your darning needle at this point. I call it a darning needle, it should be called a tapestry needle. Been doing that all my life, sorry about that. So just gonna pull through. Now if I go into the one that I started with, just sink it right in and just come to the back side, like the inside, going in. And if you pull it in a way that doesn't really make it go out of place, it's just gonna pull it down and it looks like it belongs. So then you're just gonna turn it around, get the back loop. So that was going in once. Remember the magic number is 3. So you're just gonna go back in the red section twice. That was the second time, and then back through third time is a charm. And I'm just going into some fibers. See, I don't see the darning needle on the good side, so that's a good thing. So that's it. So what we need to do is that we need to start at the base of the bag, and we're gonna start off how we did this one at the top, and then we're gonna go all the way around again in using the navy that I have. So this is where I ended, and I can still see the whip stitch. So I wanted to turn it upside down and start at the same point on the other side. So now I'm going to use my bright navy, and now that we have gone through round once on the top layer, we're going to go around on this one on the bottom layer, but we need to establish the stitches first. So just start in the first red one that you have, and just like you did before, there's 2 single crochets in each one of the stripes, and there's 60 stripes, so times 2 gives you 120, which is the number that you need. So make sure that you do have 120. So just starting in the first red one, just attach with a slip stitch, and then chain 1 and single crochet into that same one, and then just that same stripe gets another one, so each stripe gets 2, and so we're moving to the white, and then continuing all the way around. So please do that all the way around, and making sure that each one of the stripes gets 2 of these blues all the way around, and that'll give you 120. So I'll see you here in just a moment, or see you at the end of this round in just a moment. So eventually you're gonna come all the way back around, and you should have 120. So if you were conscious to make sure that each one of the stripes had 2, then you should be good to go, and you had 60 stripes, then you don't really need to double count if you don't want to. So then just slip stitch to the beginning, single crochet to finish. So let's begin. We're gonna start doing a decrease, and what we're gonna do is that we're gonna take the circle and make it come together like that. So we're gonna do a progressive decrease then for the remaining of this until we get to the very center of the bottom of the bag. So what we're going to do now is the next 3 rounds, so rounds 2, 3, and 4 are just gonna be strictly 1 single crochet each. So we're gonna progressively just make this so that it just sinks down a little bit more. It gives it a bit more depth to the bag, and then you'll be able to see the blue too when you're having to set it down. So what I want you to do, the next 3 rows, I want you to just do 1 single crochet in each, slip stitch to the beginning one, and then just continue along so that you have this. So you should have a total of 4 rows that are just single crochets like that. So the first one that was attached, and then the next 3. So please do that all the way around, and I'll see you back after those 4 rows are done. So now we're gonna start doing the decreases. So in the very first time we're gonna start, we're going to put 13 single crochets in a row, and then we're gonna decrease by 2. So we're gonna do 2 together single crochet. The next time, the next row, we're going to do 6 single crochets in a row, then decrease, and then put 12 in a row and then decrease again. So you're kind of seeing that you're having to decrease like that. So this is how you're going to start. The next one is just immediately starting off with 11 single crochets, then a decrease. The next one is 5 single crochets, then a decrease, then 10, and then a decrease. So what this is doing is it's causing it to change where the decrease is, so that you don't have obvious lines in your bag for the decrease. So you're gonna continue down that same path all the way. And if you want to take a screenshot, let me move my hands out of the way. If you want to take a screenshot of that, it just is a really easy way to be able to follow this along. So what you can just do is just check it off as you go, but let's get you started. Just make sure you're starting off right. So let's get started off right. We're gonna chain up 1, and the next 13 in a row are gonna be each 1 single crochet. Let's count those. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So there's your 13. Now the next 2 are together, so just insert your hook into the next one, pull through, okay, and then insert your hook into the next one, pull through. You have 3 loops on the hook, pull through all 3. So then you're gonna do 13 and 2, 13 and 2 all the way back to the very beginning. So please do that all the way around. This is the first decrease round. So I did 2 together at this one here. I still have the remaining of these stitches left. Now the last 2 will become together if you're keeping in counts with everything. So just make sure that you end up with your 2 together at the very end. So even if you're off by anything, you can probably fake it at this point instead of having a frog. You know, not all of us crochet perfectly each and every time, and if you know where to fake things, it just becomes a lot easier. So the very final stitches here, the last 2 will become together, and then we're gonna move along in the pattern. So if you can identify the last 2, which is currently right next, so 1 and 2, just put those 2 together and then just slip stitch to the first single crochet. So the next one is a decrease as well. They're all decreases, but this time we're going to change the spot. Last time we did 13 in a row and then 2. This time we're going to chain up 1 and put 6 in a row by itself. So 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then the next 2 are together. So the whole remaining of this now is going to be 12 in a row and then 2 together, 12 in a row, 2 together, and that'll take you back to the very beginning. So please do that, and then we're just gonna recap then, and then we're just gonna continue then, and you'll get that done on your own. So again, 12 in a row by itself. So I'm coming back around and just put the 2 together. Now I'm not all the way around, so the very final 6. So we had 6 that we started with on the one side, so therefore we have to have 6 that we finish with that's by itself, because we have 12 in a row and then single crochet together. So what's gonna happen is that you have 6 on this side, 6 on this side of the slip stitch in order to make it all work. So what you just do is just single crochet yourself all the way back to the start. Now you don't need to worry about putting 2 together. So what I'm gonna do for you now at this point is just take you back to my sheet, and then you just can see it once again, and if you want to take a screenshot you can to keep yourself organized, and just slip stitch then to the top of the first one just like that. So let's go back to the sheet and you'll get the rest of this done on your own. Before you leave me, actually I have a correction here. I'm just working my way through. I noticed here that I put 5 and 2, and this was also 5 and 2, so this should have actually been 4. I am so sorry about that. This should have been 3. This should have been 2, and that should be 1 like that, and this is gone. Okay, so this is kind of like that. So that's kind of what we have going on. I'm sorry about that. I just noticed that I carried over the 5, so please make sure that you make that adjustment. Okay, once you get all the way to the end, you're ending up with the little holes. So we've actually now finished, and we are going to just leave on an extra long yarn tail, and we're going to use our darning needle or tapestry needle. Just pull this loop through. I'm going to use the tapestry needle to close that in. Now I just want you to collect the loops that are existing. There's a total of 8 of them, so you can either collect them and just pull on them to close them up like a clothesline. So just start going around, And what I like to do is I like to wait to the end before I do the pull, and then it becomes more equal. Of course, if you have better ways to being able to finish stuff, that's completely up to you. You are the artist after all. I'm just here to show you some techniques, and you can either like it or love it or not like it at all. It's up to you. You are pretty much in control of your education here on our YouTube channel. So I'm coming up all the way around now, and now all I'm just going to do is just stabilize it, just hold it and just pull, and that'll pull that nice and shut. And what I would do if I were you and you were me, just simply go a diagonal across, or just go right across and just go across and pick it up, and that'll pull it shut. And then just coming up to the side and go diagonal the other way. I don't know if diagonal is the right word, just go across. And of course, back and forth 3 times is your magic number. And what I would do, now that we've done that, I want to stick the needle down through the middle, and I want to just grab it through the other side, so the inside of the bag. Just be careful when you open it, it's going to be exposed. So there it is, coming up. So now I want to tie it in the behind here, so just coming into the stitch work, just loop it to make sure that it kind of knots onto itself, and then you want to go back and forth a total of 3 times. And this would be the base of the bag. So now we have handles left. The handles are actually really easy to do. I have them already done, and I can just attach, but I'll show you how to do them anyway, so that you know how to do that as well. And then we're going to sew those to the bag as well. So now that it's in 3 times, you can safely just trim that, and we're going to move to the handles next. So let's take a look at the handles. These are really quite easy. They're chaining of 105, and you're just single crocheting back and forth for 5 rows. And then what we do is you fold it, and then you single crochet once again across thicknesses to create the hold. And so this is what they will look like, and then once we're done that, then we can just sew it to the bag. So you need to do a total of 2 of those. I've already done my 2, and I'm just going to show you a small sample just to make sure that you got it right. So let's do that next. So let's create our handle. So we're just going to create a slip knot, and it says to chain 105. I'm only going to do 10 because I just don't need to do a big one. So I'm just going to so you'll chain 105. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then please go all the way down to 105. I'll see you back here in just a moment. So now what you're going to do, second chain from the hook, just go back and get the second just like you see, and single crochet yourself all the way across your chain. It'll take you a little bit of time. There is going to be 104 stitches by the time you're left because you went second chain from the hook. So you'll do that. So now that is the first row. So now it's 2 through 5 is going to be the same thing. So chain, turn your work, chain 1 and single crochet. This is row number 2, and you'll single crochet all the way down to the very end. And then when you get there, you're going to turn your work, chain 1. This is row number 3. So just single crocheting all the way down. Okay, and then turn your work, chain 1. This is row number 4. And finally you're going to come to row number 5. So turn your work, chain 1 and single crochet down. So now that you have your 5 in there, obviously you'll be having to take more time than this. Once you have your 5, then what I want you to do is just fold it together and insert into the first stitch, okay, where you are, and into the next one on the other side, and just single crochet. So once you match these, they should stay matched so that it comes together. Do you see how they're matched? So just coming across the first one and the second one, and single yourself, crochet yourself all the way down the edge. And then once you get to the edge, you're just going to fasten off, weave in your ends, and then you'll leave that, and then you'll be able to create a handle. So that's exactly what you've just done. So let's go back to the project now, get these 2 done, and then I will show you where to put these onto the bag. So the instructions tell us to sew the handles to the bag as shown in the photo. I see that there's a blue stripe, so I'm just gonna count the stripes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and 9, and 10. I think that there's 10 straps, but what I would do if I were you and you were me, I would stay to the red. I'd stay to the same color that you did so that you can hide your sewing a lot better. So what you want to just do is that put the folded, this is where it's been slip stitched on this side to bring together, so put that on the edge and just simply just kind of look at it and just work your way out. So what I can just do is just count these reds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so the reds are showing that it's there's the whites there. So let's just put these out. So let's just go 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. So let me just put that there. So 1, 2, 3. So then that leaves 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I want to do, I think I want to go to the next one. So I'm counting these stripes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna go 7 there. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm gonna go to this one here, and I'm just gonna put a stitch marker there. That'll just represent that that's where I want to put it. And what I would do is put your stitch markers in. So that was the 8th one. So that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's the other one. Put your stitch marker in. And because you've got it folded in half, I want you to put stitch markers in on the other side too, so that you can nail it. So it's gonna be equal. So just fold it up forward. Okay, and then kind of fold it down, and you can kind of see where things are gonna go. So I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So it's gonna be this one. And what I'm gonna do is that after this clip is done, I'm going to pick it up by this area and see how it dangles. If I'm wrong, I'm going to adjust. So now's the time to adjust if you have to. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like that. So I'm just gonna pick it up and see what happens and make a judgment call. If you want to move it in, you can, and if you want to move it out, you can do so too. So let's just check that, and I'll be right back. So I checked it, I'm good to go. So I'm gonna use the same color of the strap for the tail in order to sew this in. I want to look on the inside of the bag here, and I want to stay within the red because that's kind of what I want to do, and I want to kind of sink it down a little bit so it gives it a bit of structure, so just don't go right to the edge. Create a slip knot here, and you're going to insert the tapestry needle on the other side. So I'm doing the one on the other side. So when I go to do these, I'm gonna flip this bag upside down and just do it from this angle. It just is easier. So you'll notice that there is a single crochet edge. I would keep that towards the middle of the bag. So laying it down like so, and then just kick it up and making sure it's not twisting at all. And that's how I would sew it onto there. So taking the darning needle, I want to just go into the handle, and I can go right to the other side because it's the same color and I'm staying within the red. So if you need to turn it over to double check, now is the time to do it, and then pull it through, but don't pull it all the way through. I want you to stop until you start seeing the loop, and then just come back through and through the handle and put that loop through onto the needle, and now pull through. And that what that will do is it'll lock it into position for you. See, now I'm pulling everything nice and tight. So now that I'm gonna do that, I'm just going to go back through the handle and work my way up through the top into the striping area, right to the top, and then back down. And then if you want to do that one or two more times, you can do that. Once you get that one done, you're just gonna make sure this is not twisted at all. Come back up and then just fasten it to the other one, kind of keeping it the same distance. And then once you got that done, you're just gonna flip the bag over and then look at it from the same angle. And it's just easier if you look at the inside than it is the outside. And that's what I would do. So please fasten on your handles. I'm gonna get that done now.